Alright, so for episode 6 of my Minmus landing station video, I'm going to do something way different than I normally have. So the total amount of time that this mission took was an hour and a half, and so as I'm starting to edit it together, I got to thinking, how do I present this? There's over an hour and a half of material here. About 30 minutes of that was me trying to rendezvous with the landing station around Minmus with my rescue craft. So I decided normally I do all of my commentary live as I'm playing. This is all post editing commentary. And so I just, for one thing, the commentary really wasn't that great. So this gives me a chance to redo that. Plus, you don't want to watch an hour and a half video of me flying to Minmus, and so what I did was I sped up a lot of the footage in this video. Got it down to like around 30 minutes. I think it's at like 34, and so I figured that what I would do was just kind of commentate on a couple of things as you watch the super fast motion. So what I've got here is my rescue ship. So that first stage was 6 of the smaller engines, and each of those had 4 of the smaller fuel tanks on top. And the type of fuel system that I wasn't using asparagus, I was using cross-feeding. So every single one of the engines was feeding into the main one. So that way that when we drop those smaller tanks, or the smaller engines, the mainsail will have a full tank. So, setting up my orbit around Kerbal, and yeah. So it's kind of like watching this sped up. It's great. And then so I get rid of the mainsail. That looked really cool. Get rid of the mainsail. Then I've got the little Roco Max Poodle engine. That's going to take me to Minmus and also bring me back to Kerbal. This was like outside of, flying to other planets. I think this is the most fun I've had playing Kerbal Space Program yet, is this mission. And it was because it was something that, I don't know, something new. I've never like rescued stranded Kerbals before. Normally if they're stranded, I'll just end the flight. And so here we go, and I cut some of the video here for Minmus to be in position for our burn. And just getting everything set up. This was kind of weird because with this I had a double there's a cool shot right there. With that maneuver that I set up, I had a double encounter, one with Minmus and then one with the Mun. So, or the moon. I don't know how to say it. It's spelled M-U-N, but some people say you're supposed to pronounce moon. Some people say mun. I don't know. I'm just gonna say mun. Why not? So that was quite weird. I thought that double encounter, something that I'd never experienced before. But then it kept messing up my Minmus encounter, having that double encounter. So I actually had to readjust my flight. You'll see it here in a couple of minutes, I believe. That's a really cool shot right there. Oh yeah, this whole time I was just really worried about fuel. And actually, towards the end, I got really close to running out of fuel. My initial plan was to land back at the Kerbal. What do you call it? Kerbal Space Center with the KSC. That didn't happen. Spoiler alert. But there was actually a really funny, you'll see it later in the video, a really funny thing that happened when we're going back to Kerbal. So here we go. Here comes the double encounter. As you can see, that red one. Really interesting. And then as I started traveling towards Minmus, something very majestic about watching Kerbal just float away as you're floating to another celestial body or wherever you're going. I was trying to find Minmus, couldn't. Yeah, so there's just a bit of this. And see, now my encounter's gone, so I had to make a few adjustments on my way there. Set up a maneuver. And I'm running pretty low on fuel already. The nice thing about the landing station is it's got a ton of fuel packed onto it. So and that was the thing where, you know, in my 2 previous videos with the landing station, we brought those guys back to the station, but we didn't dock the ships. And so I was thinking that was something that, you know, I could do with this. But then I realized that I can't, because if I just float them down to this rescue ship, I won't be able to get any fuel back. I won't be able to get any fuel from the landing station, so I absolutely 100% had to dock it. I hadn't, you know, practiced my docking in a long time, so me just trying to meet up with the landing station, you'll see it, but me trying to meet up with the landing station was probably like a good chunk of why the mission took an hour and a half. I also had to dock because I wanted to deorbit the landing station, and I wouldn't be able to do that remotely. Well, I guess I could have. Yeah, because I could have burned retrograde and brought it down, and then had the Kerbal just jump out as it was going. Here I'm just, you know, fixing the orbits. I kind of messed it up. Yeah, this was, I don't know if this was like one of the most difficult missions I've done, but it definitely felt like it. Definitely one of the definitely one of the more enjoyable ones for sure. It was a decent little craft there. I had a ton of RCS fuel, as you can see. I like those little balls of fuel. And I think, like, not only, you know, did they add to your total number of the total amount of RCS fuel that you have, but it adds a little aesthetic look to the ship. It makes it look like the ship has little floaties on. I will say one thing I love about Minmus is doing orbital maneuvers takes so little fuel. It's ridiculous. And then now I'm matching my orbit with the landing station. As it is, I forgot what the term is. I'm not a rocket scientist. I just pretend to be one in a video game. It's the type of orbit where it's not polar or horizontal, but it's the one that's in between those. I can't think of it right now. But as you can see, just making some corrections, and then I actually get really lucky with my intersection with the rendezvous. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video. Alright. I'm just gonna do this burn real quick. I like a 0.18.4. Although, you know, unless if you saw my channel, that bug, that's really weird. I mean, it's not a game-breaking bug, but you know, it's just kind of, it'd be nice to not have your ship explode every single time you click restart flight. And somebody was saying it might be a bug. All right, enough with bugs. So that intersect right there is like 0.1 kilometers. I think I ended up getting it to 0.5, and I clicked X on my maneuver after I set it up. I don't know what I was thinking, but I think after the burn, I got it down to 0.5 for the intercept, which is, that's the closest I've ever been able to get two ships to rendezvous. But back to the bug, somebody was saying there might be a problem, like if you click restart flight, it doesn't clear debris, and so debris might be hitting my ship and then causing it to explode. So doing some adjustments. And now here comes here comes a 45-minute rendezvous. Although this one was I mean, even though I kept flying by it multiple times, I couldn't get my prograde marker to get inside of the pink marker to, you know, to signal that I'm on a direct path towards my target. It would always be just a little bit like to the left or something, and so I'd try and compensate for that, and try and, you know, use my RCS thrusters to kind of offset my movement, and that didn't work very well. But we finally get there after some time. I'll go ahead and fast forward to when I'm a bit closer. Alright, so here we are, we're coming in the dock. I cut out a good chunk of time, and actually, as you can see on the time total, we're at about 20 some minutes now. So I've cut out 25 minutes. I've cut out about 10 minutes since when I initially started recording this post commentary. Boop. Nice little love tap on the Minmus landing station. I wasn't really coming in very. So my thought was that like the magnet would pick up my docking port, and then we would just snap into place, and that wasn't the case. So I'm just gonna. So I switched to I was gonna try and dock on that bottom port. Decided not to anymore. Switched to the side port. Alright, and so now this is in real time. Here's the real deal. We're gonna just get all up into that space station. A little bit right. Come on. Come on, probe. Oh yeah, I guess I should have mentioned. There's you've probably noticed by now, but I did use a probe to fly this spaceship to Minmus. Yeah, oh, so close. Get in there. There we go. We got this. We got this. Alright, so rescue ship is docked. Now we just gotta get everybody over. It looks pretty cool, actually. Not a bad little station we've got around Minmus. Alright, so now I'm gonna transfer all the Kerbals over. At first I wasn't too good at this. Well, that one was pretty quick. There are a couple in there though that I really struggled with, like this one. But the more times that I transferred Kerbals over, it got a lot easier. I think this might be the most entertaining one. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing. But it's fine. He just started to drift away. Ow. And every time I hit the station, you know, it starts to move a bit, so I was not doing myself any favors. So is that 4? Is this number 5? Yeah. Yeah, I had to bring 2 of the habitat modules because there's 6 guys on this landing station, and each habitat module only holds 4, so wasn't gonna leave 2 of them up there. Alright, so now this part, so now what I'm trying to do is I want to deorbit the station, crash it into Minmus. Well, I guess right now I'm transferring fuel out of the little landing pods into the rescue ship. And for some reason, so I take fuel out of that Minmus transport, but I don't take it out of this one. So I'm going to use that one to deorbit it. So here's what I didn't realize. When I turned on those engines, it turned on those two engines of those Minmus transports and just sent. So we weren't like doing anything. And so I shut down one of the engines, and we just started tumbling around. So use RCS, get back onto the retrograde. That's the only engine going. All right, there we go. Oh, whoops. Stable. That's a wobbly little thing. All right. So get it stabilized, and then I don't really use that much power. I just need to bring it down just a little bit, so that crashes into the side of this icy rock. You know, I wish that's how NASA would take things out of orbit. Or not take things out of orbit, but decommission things in space, is just deorbit them and crash them into a surface. So, we undock, because now I need to get this guy back into orbit because it's on a trajectory to crash into Minmus. And so this wasn't working. I was like, what the hell's going on? Oh, I forgot that I disabled fuel in the fuel. Alright, so we're gonna get this back into orbit real quick, just double checking everybody's in there. And I forgot that I had Bob on this one, so that means next mission I do, Bob will be on there. Alright, so now this guy's just gonna, we're gonna crash the station now. So Still sped up now. I'm gonna bring it down, bring it back to real time here in a second, so we can watch the spectacular crash in normal speed. It was kind of cool following the station down because I got a really good look at some parts of Minmus I'd never seen before. So here it goes. And then it just sent a ton of debris flying. And so I can see some of it, and then whoa, woo! I switched to. It's kind of hard to see, but that's a light that's just tumbling, and that's all. That is just a ton of debris. It's actually pretty impressive how much of a explosive pack these lights hold. So you'll see here in a second. Wow. Apparently that's what happens. So I tried to switch over to see some of the other debris, but they all crashed on the side of that hill. So in that flight, get back to the rescue ship. Get back into Kerbin's sphere of influence. Get back in orbit around it. Yeah, I feel... when I was putting this video together, I was thinking, do I do 2 videos, or... And I was like, well, I could just speed it up and redo the commentary, because, like I was saying earlier, the live commentary was not that great at all. So, you get fresh new post commentary. Just so here I am, just fixing my orbit around Kerbin. My initial plan was to land at the KSC, and yeah, like I said earlier in the video, that didn't happen. Not really too bummed about it though, because they're back on Kerbin, so it's whatever. Oh, it's flying out of control. That burn right there used up a lot of my fuel. And that was kind of the one where I was like, alright. Because there's the KSC right there. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to make it. I guess I could have done another orbit, but I was just kind of ready to get this mission over with. So we're just going to go land in the ocean. And I got rid of the little poodle engine. There we go, the solar panels. Alright. So this is slowing us down, and I was really nervous because I didn't have an engine. I was still going really fast. I was really nervous that when the chutes opened, maybe parts of the ship would rip apart. And my fear came true, but luckily it wasn't one of the habitat modules that fell off. It was just the RCS fuel. So that was when that happened, I kind of was freaking out a bit. That's kind of mesmerizing to look at. Nevertheless, the parachutes The parachutes worked fine, and we're gonna land in the water and end this flight. And so yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Cheers.